What's up, everybody? It's Matt Garabedian, aka the Phenom Investor. If it's your first time here to the channel, welcome. I hope I could add some pieces of advice, some golden nuggets for you here today. If you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the impending storm. What do I mean? You're going to have to stick around to see the entire video and how to prepare for it. But I believe we're going to go through some pain here. May not happen right away, but may not happen in the next year. But what goes up always has to come down. Stay tuned. I'm going to get into the details. Roll that clip. All right, guys. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I'm a little older. I'm a little wiser. You see, back in 2008, I went through the biggest financial collapse in modern history. That's when the subprime mortgage and interest rates totally collapsed the real estate market. Major banks went down. It was ugly. But the crazy thing is, I was too naive and didn't even know it was coming. So I'm going to do this video here to help you. Maybe you weren't around or in business during that financial crisis. So I'm going to give you a couple tips and strategies to help you avoid doing the thing that I did and get hit like a ton of bricks with no clue what was going on. And I don't want that to happen to you. So here are some 3 strategies that you should focus on and start thinking about in order to help not only preserve your financial situation, but maybe even flourish going forward. So the first thing you should consider is to actually just pick your head up and start looking around. Right now, it's way too easy. People are partying. People are making all kinds of money. It's coming from all types of directions. And the crazy thing is, they're not even working for it, right? So there's so much helicopter money that has come into the hands of the average person over the last couple of years with all of this COVID relief money, the PPPs, the free assistance, the unemployment money. It's just been a windfall of helicopter money that people have gotten accustomed to receiving for not doing any work. So what has that done? That's made people financially lazy. They've gone out, bought things that they probably couldn't afford. I've, in the recent months, tried to go out and buy a new truck. The prices that you have to pay for new automobiles is skyrocketing. Go out and try to buy a watch. You can't get them. They're almost double the price than they were a few years ago. I've seen some crazy stuff. For example, a friend of mine just sold a .eth domain for $200,000. This is just a domain that probably not even a fraction of the people that I would even tell even know what the name means. Second thing is, you see JPEGs, i.e. NFTs, going for millions of dollars. You see Ferraris, Lambos, exquisite living, yachts, parties, mainstream craziness. It's all over. You see it on Instagram. Everybody seems to be winning. But my question is, where are they winning from? Is it from betting big on crypto? Is it betting big on stock markets? Is it betting big on gambling? I don't know. But the point of the matter is, people are winning easily right now, so they're not staying focused on the impending storm that's coming. Simple rule is, what goes up must come down. And I think we're headed towards the bottom cycle where everyone's elated, then all of a sudden things hit them out of left field and problems start to arise. So you got to start paying attention to what the experts are saying. So what could you do? You could get on a platform like this and YouTube and look at what guys like Ray Dalio are saying. They believe there's some issues that are headed down our way. What's Warren Buffett say? These guys have been in the game for a long time, so they could probably offer some advice simply because they've been around. They see what's happening in the markets. They see where consumer spending is. They see where job reports are coming at. They could see policy and legislation coming that is going to affect the entire job market and the growth in all of these different aspects. These are things that we need to start studying in order to see what is really happening. The first thing that you should pay attention to is inflation. Now, inflation is through the roof. The actual inflation rate is not being reported because they're trying to keep it hush hush and under the rug. But those that are in the know absolutely believe inflation's probably well over 15% right now. That alone is an alarming number. The second thing you should pay attention to is what the Fed is saying. Jerome Powell recently said that they do anticipate raising the rates several times this year alone. I've heard personally through very trusted source that they could be raising the rates at least 7 times in this fiscal year. That's absolutely crazy. If that happens, that's going to be a snowball effect, and we could see some major pain inflicted by the Feds raising rates. The third biggest thing here that people may or may not realize is the amount of money that's been printed over the last 2 years. If in fact this is true, which I believe it is, we've printed 40% of the total money supply in the history of the United States. In the history of the Treasury, we're talking about printing 40% of the total money supply that's ever existed. That alone is insane. We cannot continue at this rate and think there's not going to be a big price to pay. We are certainly headed for major economic disaster. So I'm saying all of this could or could not happen, but I want you guys to be prepared like it is going to happen so you don't get caught off guard. In looking back, the major mistake that I made back in 2008 was relying on one source of income. So my advice to you is figure out how you can have at least 3 sources of income going forward. That is super important so that you're not relying on just one, because one could go away really quickly. Having 2 to 3 sources of income will allow you to weather any storms and buy you some time to figure out how you're going to pay each month's bills. You got to figure out how to reinvent yourself, use a skill set, start a business, joint venture with someone, and figure out how you could start earning several streams of income. That way, you're hedging your bet in case something happens to one of your sources of income. When I was in real estate back in 2008, I was just starting. I only had one source of income. So at that time, everyone was scared to buy real estate. I couldn't broker any deals. Therefore, all my income dried up and it put me in a very bad place. The second piece of advice is dig your well before you're thirsty. And what do I mean by that? Start preparing now. Start assuming that this is going to happen and you're going to prepare yourself to be ready to act. And what I mean by that is when there's blood in the streets, like Warren Buffett says, is when you should get greedy. When there's fear, when there's blood, when there's total panic, that's when you have opportunity to capitalize. That means assets go on sale. Real estate becomes very attractive. Stock prices go down. Cryptocurrency goes down. That's the time to snatch up those assets because they're going to be on sale. That's when people panic. They sell the assets because they need the money. You are going to be prepared for that opportunity. So start digging your well. How can you do that? Start saving up cash. Start making relationships with other people that have a lot of money, private money investors, joint venture opportunities. Start talking to people about what you think is coming down the pipeline and start strategizing on how you can go out and capitalize on that opportunity. So for example, I am aligning myself with people that have lots of money and telling them about the opportunities that I see coming. One of them could be, how could we go out and buy 100 houses when they all become 50% off? That would be a great strategy to start talking about right now by approaching someone that you know is sitting in a great cash position, and you can show them how to take advantage of a particular time and place in the market through your action, your marketing plan, and your strategy. So if I was to say, I want to go out and buy 100 houses, here's how I would acquire them. Here's the strategy to hold them and rent them out for cash flow reserves. And then once the market corrects and it starts to go back up again, we can exit for a great profit. That's just one example of what you could do when the market is down. Your opportunity to align with people that are in big cash positions will prove to be a very smart strategy, because you can't go to someone in a panic and when things are really bad and you have no plan. No one's going to lend you money. No one's going to think you're serious. So start talking about these strategies right now. That's something I'm certainly doing, aligning myself with bigger thinkers, bigger people in the industry, people that are in big cash positions to plan ahead and take action when, like I said, fear is thick, people are panicked, and there's blood in the streets. That's when you make your move. So the third thing that I would suggest is, if you've got assets right now, we're still in a position where everything is still at the top. No one can time the very top. So in real estate right now, it's super hot. If you've got a set of rentals, consider selling those now, because I think in the next year to two, we could see a crash. We could see a correction. So you could always buy back those assets at a cheaper price. Right now, you can get top dollar. Everyone always says, I woulda, I coulda, I shoulda. I should have sold when. I should have bought then. I should have done this or that. Right now, you should consider selling those assets that you're getting really top dollar for, because that will position you to buy back more assets at a cheaper cost, at a cheaper number. And then you might be able to double your inventory at the same price than what you've got right now. I'm also considering, if you've got stocks or you've got assets in the crypto space, you might consider selling them before the bottom falls out. That way you can, again, store up cash, buy it back cheaper. These are all different strategies to consider going into what I believe will be a pretty hard fall. So for me personally, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and start to sell all of my rentals in California. I just believe we're at the top in the rental market. Some of the prices that I could get versus what I paid for them are no brainers for me. I feel that I could rather sell those now at the top, take back that profit, and figure out the next move. My worst case scenario is watching the bottom fall off and not take profits. I think in investing, at some point, we all got to take profits. Right now, I just feel that the timing is right to do that. It's not financial advice. It's just what I'm doing personally. I think that we are going to see a correction. So I want to take profits and then reassess going forward. So guys, just to recap, I do think we are going to see a correction. I don't know how painful it's going to be, but everything that is kind of happening around us just doesn't add up. I see tremendous amounts of free money continue to be helicoptered down into our economy. I see jobs stagnant. I see people out celebrating, buying extravagant things, paying millions of dollars for NFTs, partying, doing crazy stuff. And it just doesn't really seem that the economy should support this type of activity because of what we've gone through over the last couple of years with the COVID shutdown. We haven't seen interest rates rise. We haven't seen prices stagnant. And it's impossible to keep up at this pace with everything that's going around. I just think right now, my sense is that the party's going to end. And I want whoever's watching this to kind of start thinking about that. And just at the worst case scenario, start putting some of these plans and strategies into place. At least have an idea of what you're going to do when these things happen, so you're not in a panic. I hope this video encourages you to start thinking about that and puts in a plan that will help you become prosperous and take advantage of opportunities that the future might bring. As always, I want to say thank you for watching this video. If you like it, give me that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I want you to always remember one thing: be phenomenal. See you on the next video. Peace.